Due to the overwhelming support and success of my foundation video, Discover the Horse You Never Knew, there's been an incredible demand for follow-up videos to help people deal with the many issues we all face on a regular basis. So we've addressed a variety of these issues to help you continue your quest in understanding and communicating with these wonderful creatures. Bear in mind that in almost every instance, the first 6 steps of my 7-step system have already been worked by me or one of my apprentices or students. Therefore, by the time we've addressed many of these issues, it's just not a big deal because the trust and confidence instilled earlier has helped the horse immeasurably. I have a willing partner who happily accepts my directorship. It's absolutely critical that you fully understand and are working the 7-step system before attempting to deal with this or any of the problems addressed in my videos. Otherwise, you just won't get it. If you don't completely understand this program, you're jumping into the middle and probably won't be successful. Listen to your horses. Don't move any faster than your horse tells you to. Leave her watching the car. Be observant. If your horse is in pain physically or mentally, how well can you perform? Allow your horses to be horses and run wild and free on a regular basis. Don't allow your horses to become prisoners cooped up in a little stall. Do what your horse wants to do from time to time. Most importantly, treat your horses the way you like to be treated. You won't believe how well you'll get along. I salute you to committing to excellence in the lifelong process of learning. Be patient with yourself and patient with your horses. We're going to do some work today with young horses. There's a whole procedure for working with young horses, and it begins by making friends. And oftentimes, if you're in a big area, it's very difficult to do that. So what I like to do is move the horses into something small, like this little pen in the corner here, which is set up for the horses when they come in for a meal. So we're going to go ahead and try and get the horses to move in that direction. I'll try to drive them in and keep their mamas out. Got one here that's quite likely to follow me right in. She's actually had some handling. Good girl, good girl. Oh, did we get lucky? Did you see that? She just walked in. She just walked in, so that's just absolutely perfect. So we'll go ahead and close them in here so they're in a safe place that's enclosed. Now I've got 3 different things to work with here. I've got 2 pieces of twine tied together. And what I do is I put a loop in the end, just like this, in each end. Okay, this is great for catching all horses, as a matter of fact. Why don't you something else? I'm glad that this one's curious. This isn't going to be the big project. So I'll just let the horse carry this at first, you know? No big deal. If the horse needs to move around, that's just fine. And then I'll slowly start to add a little bit of pressure, release. Pressure, release. Come over here, pressure, release. I don't pull straight forward, ever. It's a whole lot easier when you pull off to the side because you're unbalancing the horse just a little bit. I'm getting some real good gives, and the horse is actually starting to lead just a little bit. Release, and release, okay? Now, ultimately what I'm able to do, once I have the horse understanding that, because I've got a loop in each end, is I can go ahead and run this through. And again, I wouldn't be tugging hard because it is a piece of twine. But the idea now is that I've got this up around the horse's neck, and I'll see if I can go ahead and start leading the horse just a little bit, which is just beautiful. It's exactly what I want. Okay, very, very easy pressure, not a lot. Needs to go around the other way, that's okay. It's just gonna allow me to apply a little pressure, release. Pressure, release. And we've all got twine, you know, when you need to catch a horse, it's a great thing to have. I've got a horse leading already. Then there are a lot of other things I can do. I can start just putting the rope on here and getting that head to come around, teaching the horse to yield, another release. Okay? There's no reason why I couldn't take this and run around behind her and get her to unwind behind and start planting that seed where she understands that she needs to move away from pressure anywhere on her body. Release. Remember, if you're not releasing the horse every 10 to 15 seconds, 20 seconds, to me, you're probably not doing it right. And that goes with just about all training. Now the horse just set that up. That's a good place for it. I'll stay with it. Pressure, release. There, I got it. Pressure, release. There she's disengaging, stepping over behind. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and move to the cotton rope here. Offer something just a little bit different. Kind of graduate up to the next class. Get everything organized. Yeah, what do you think you're doing anyway, huh? What do you think you're doing anyway? And it'd be the same kind of deal. I just want to start out by having the horse understand that she can wear it and follow me around a little bit. Pressure, release. The release is everything at this stage. Pressure, release. What a good girl. What a good girl. What a good girl. Yeah. You see, and the cotton rope isn't going to burn the horse at all, so that's really important to use that. Even to, you know, do a little desensitizing doesn't hurt a bit either. You know, start to touch those ears a little bit. Maybe rub the eyes a little. It's important that the mama is close by so the horse doesn't get too bothered. It's all right, your mama's right there. Yeah, you're all right. You're all right, little thing. I know, you're all right. You're okay. Again, just let her carry it behind her legs. Easy girl, easy girl. Yeah. All right. Now I'm going to go ahead and run the lead rope here. Run the end through so that I've actually got a little more security to work with here. Good girl. Start leading her around a little bit now. I want to see these as forward moves, ideally. Again, come in here and work her head a little bit. Maybe scratch those eyes. Maybe get in the corner of her mouth a little bit if I can. That's going to go on her whole life as we're going to be touching their mouths and getting them used to that. So I'll go ahead and desensitize that mouth a little bit. Yeah. I won't insist. I don't want to make her sour on it. I want to make it fun for her. There's no reason why at this stage I can't ask her little head to come around to the side. Again, a little pressure and release. Understanding that, there it is, release. Understanding that safety zone, so a little bit later it's going to make a whole lot of sense. Pressure, release. But I want to see these as forward moves. In other words, as we go around to the left here, her outside leg is going to step over in front and her inside leg is going to step in front. And that would indicate, there it is, perfect. That would indicate a forward move and cooperation, very important. There it is. And there's no reason why at this stage I can't use my thumb to bump her hindquarters over a little bit. Backward, forward. There. Okay? So in other words, I can tilt her head just a little bit and come in here and bump these hindquarters over and get her understanding that. That's going to be disengagement a little bit later on. Okay? No reason why I can't run this lead rope around the offside. See, I don't have to have a halter. I can get a lot of work done this way. Run around behind, desensitize these back legs, and get her to step over away from that pressure. Beautiful. Now, I need you to go the other way, and I'll drive just a little bit. pressure, release, pressure, release. Good girl. Let's try that again. You see, when you have all these things working when the horses are this young, when it's time to ride them, it's just no big deal. But often we wait too long to get going on these things. Pressure, release. Beautiful. Now I need to talk to you over here. Pressure, release. What a good girl. Pressure, release. Okay? Now go ahead and flick this over her head just for the fun of it. That was very good. Yeah, you're doing good. You're doing good. Maybe ask that head to come around again. Release. Yeah. Oh, I get around her leg. No big deal. She didn't lose it. Okay, come around here. Moves right away from that pressure. Beautiful. Absolutely perfect. Now I'll just ask for a little more. You see, it's so easy with these babies because we can actually overpower them. Horse gets bigger, it's a lot more difficult in release. Okay? There's nothing to keep me from starting to play with her legs a little bit and get her to understand that we're going to be picking her feet up. It's going to go on the rest of her life. So I'd start by just very gently taking this cotton rope and kind of running it around. That's all right. That's all right. How about the backs? Okay? No big deal. Yeah, you can handle that. What a good girl. Another good way to do it is just to go ahead and run the rope like this and just get her to understand that this is going to be part of life. Okay? Not a lot of pressure, just getting her to tolerate it. Now I'll ask that foot to come up and release. Beautiful. Exactly what I want. And again, release. There she got off. That's okay. Try the other side. See, I can go around and do all four legs. Just get her used to that. And again, there's no reason why I can't take and come around here, being careful, and let her handle that. You find a lot of adult horses that can't even handle that. Now I'm going to offer just a little bit of pressure and see if she can give me that foot. Pressure, release. Okay? And behind, pressure, release. Just let her carry it. What a good girl. What a good girl. Pressure, release. Pressure, release. Pressure, release. Very good. She's just doing great. I want to do this on all 4 feet before I try to get my hands in there. But now I'm feeling like it's pretty safe to go ahead and run my hand down, keeping an eye on her back legs and her attitude. Get my hat in here good and tight. And I run my hand down and start getting her used to that. And I'm not going to stay there for any length of time. I'll let her know it's coming. I'll start up high, and it's over. And it's over. What a good girl. What a good girl. Yeah, you're doing fine. You're doing fine. Yeah. Okay, come in here. See if maybe I can just pick it up for just a second. Put it back down. Shh. Now she just took a little nip, so I'm going to let her know with that noise that that's against the rules. And the next time I'd probably just give her a little reprimand under here. I don't like horses that bite me. Now run my hand down, and down, and down, and not stay there for any length of time. Just get her used to it. That's a girl. You're all right. You're all right. And then if I can just get it for just a second. That's a girl. That's a girl. That's a girl. Yeah. Make a real big deal out of that. That's what I wanted. You know, let her know by my voice. A lot of stroking. Yeah. Rub those ears. Horses need to understand when they're doing it right and when they're not doing it right. And bear in mind that these sessions don't need to be any more than about 15 or 20 minutes. Even a 5-minute session is just fine, especially if it's something that the horse needs a little help with. Okay, again, come down here, stroke. Get her weight off it a little bit, pick it up, maybe shake it a little bit and put it right back down. She's just doing wonderful. Okay, now I'll go to the back. I'll get underneath his tail a few times. See how that tail's just coming up so nice? I find that most horses, when that tail comes up, of any age, they're much more likely to work with you when it comes to working with their feet. Okay? Pressure, release. Okay? Just getting used to it, being touched. Not asking for anything, just saying, can you handle this? Pick it up and release. Beautiful. Every day I'd get it just a little bit longer. Now bear in mind that young horses, that was good. That's a good girl. Bear in mind that young horses need to balance themselves. All horses do. So you want the horses squared up as possible when you start playing with their feet. If they're all spread out and can't balance themselves, you're not going to be successful. Okay? And again, another situation right in here in the position she's in. There's no reason why I can't go ahead and run around like this. Okay? And see if I can pick that foot up. There, she's just giving it to me. But I want her to understand pressure and release. Pressure, release. Pressure. Maybe hold it up for a little bit and release while it's working if I can. That's all right. That's a pretty girl. Let her carry that. Pressure, release. Pressure, release. What a good girl. What a good girl. You're doing so good. Release. Okay? So then this whole leg thing, if you build on it every day, isn't going to be a real traumatic deal. Generally, horses that pick up their feet well are pretty well-mannered horses. Okay? What a good girl. What a good girl. And that's a pretty sensitive area up in there. To get that all desensitized now is a good idea. I'll just see for the fun of it if I can get a little backward. Pressure, release. Pressure, release. What a good girl. Okay, another thing I'm going to do while I've got her working so well and her attitude's good, and remember this is all fun. It's all fun for the horse. Is why not get that girth a little bit desensitized right now? Just get her used to that. Just kind of saw back and forth. And now I'm going to put a fair bit of pressure, release. This horse is only about 4 months old, isn't that right? Yeah. There's no reason why this can't be done with very young horses. Back to the girth area. Back here, again, lift it up with some serious weight, because when that girth comes in there, someday she's going to have a saddle in about 2 years or a little bit less, and it's not going to be a big deal. Now it's time to go ahead and put my rope halter on her. And she's ready for that, and I can really get the first 6 steps of my program going. So I'll come in here, and I'm going to, now it's time to go ahead and slip the halter on her. I've got one of these adjustable rope halters. One size fits all. There, she just put her nose in it, didn't even know she did. Did it perfectly. I want to move quickly but gracefully. As I get this secured, very good. Now I can go ahead and take this off. Right over the top. What a good girl. And I've got her haltered without any fanfare at all. Okay? I'll go ahead and move her out. Okay. Go ahead and offer a little pressure and release. Pressure and release. Pressure and release. Now she feels the pressure on her nose as well as behind her head in the poll area there. Okay? So I go ahead and teach her that, and I'm going to start working on driving just a little bit. See if I can get her to move forward for me. Looking for a forward move here. There it is. Just got it. Okay? Having a little trouble figuring out where she needs to go. There it is. And I'll start again. Just start agitating just a little bit back in here. There it is. And release. Good girl. Good girl. Let her know. Okay. And it's a girl. The one thing you don't want to do is have the horse tip over on you. That is real dangerous. So you want to kind of keep a feel. There we go. That's what I needed. Just get a little communication going here. This means go forward. Tap, 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 tap. There it is. Good girl. Good girl. Good girl. Okay. Come around behind. Get her to unwind. And again, I'll see if I can drive her. She's starting to lose her concentration a little bit. There it is. Good girl. Good girl. Yeah. And now this side. Good girl. You see? If I need to load her in a trailer or send her across some water or into a stall, the stall's starting to make sense. Good girl. Yeah. Okay, I need these front to come across, hindquarters to disengage. Good girl. And I'll go ahead and run the lead rope around here. And I'll ask her to come forward a with a little pressure behind. Release, 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 and have her unwind. Just as I do with older horses. There's no reason why a young horse can't understand how to do this at a very young age. And then everything else is going to be easy after that. Stroke, stroke. I'll go ahead and see if I can do a one-rein stop. Bring her back to the safety zone here. Easy girl. Looking for the release, pressure release again. And she's a little bit of a case. She's not the easiest one I've ever done by any means. Pressure. And as you can see, she's starting to lose her attention spans. We'll probably quit here in just a little bit and try and leave it on a real good note where she's had a good time. Release. Very nice. Good girl. Good girl. Let her get a little more comfortable over by mom. Get myself organized. And there's no reason why I can't kind of get her used to playing with her head a little bit. Shh. Easy girl. Get in the corner of her mouth. Easy. I know. I know. Again. Right in the corner of her mouth. There. And that usually helps the horse get settled down a little bit anyway. I don't want to quit while it's working there. That'd be a good place to leave it. Have her come in here and get a little lovey with me. Show her there's a nice place in here. I don't want to quit when she's pulling away. I want to quit when she's soft. A lot of stroking. Let her know this is just fine. I do the same 6 steps, more or less, that I do in my program, my 7-step video, with young horses. But you have to baby step into it. Constant pressure, release. Constant pressure. There's no reason why she can't be dropping that head. Understanding pressure and release anywhere on her body. Doing real well. But that's a good place to leave her. She's done well. It's a good first session. You don't want to make it too long. Keep mama nearby. Introduce these concepts, and then the next day you'd work with it maybe a little bit longer or the same length or a little bit less. But try and remember where the horse needs help. You know, if she's a little unsure on the right side, then you'd spend a little more time over there trying to get it done. Always leave it in a good place. Love on them, make it fun, make it a game. Yeah. What a good girl. What a good girl. Yeah. And that's a good place to leave her. She's in a great, great place, ready to go back to work tomorrow. Have another fun session. Yeah. I've got 3 yearlings to work with today, 2 Appaloosas and an Arabian cross. And the bay horse has got some problems with dealing with confinement at all, so I'm going to have to kind of pull out the stops and do what I can to help him out. I'm going to start out with 2 pieces of twine tied together, and I put a loop in each end. Well, good morning. Yeah, it's nice to see you too. I put a loop at each end, just like that. And then I ball this up in my hand like this. You see, so the horse doesn't even know it's there. And I've got all the rest of my ammunition right here as I need it. Hopefully we can progress right through this and have the horse leading with any luck. And I like the fact that they're curious and kind of want to be in here with me. I'll go ahead and kind of make friends a little bit. Sometimes I'll ignore the horse that needs the most help, the one that's the most bothered, this bay one here. Yeah. You see, if I can make it a little more interesting for these other horses, pay more attention to them, then he's the one that's going to want attention. Yeah, that's a good boy. Yeah, yeah, look at you. Look at you. So I'll transfer this over into my other hand as I stroke him, and I can just go ahead and lay that over his neck. He's going to walk off with a little bit, and that's okay. He'll get rid of it, no big deal. But I'll go ahead and walk in and get my twine, and we'll start over. So I'm going to just kind of play a game with him now, but since he's got such an issue with rope of any kind, and that would be just to kind of drive him around a little bit, try to make friends. If I can get up here and scratch his butt, it would be not a bad idea. But I can go ahead and get some communication going right here by driving him and then asking him to come around the other way and see if I can get him to hook on. I want him to turn and face me, and when he does, the noise and agitation will stop. And sometimes it takes a while, but in an area like this, if you have some patience and some time, you can come out and you can get the horse hooked on reasonably well, and before too long you're able to get up there and be able to start touching him and playing with him a little bit. But with a horse like this, generally what's going to happen is you're probably going to have to get him in a small area, like we did yesterday with the weanlings, to be able to really get anything accomplished. He's had a traumatic incident, and he's liable to go right through a fence, and so you've got to be real careful about that and try and do it in a way that's not confrontational at all. But I'll go ahead and kind of ease in here in a non-threatening manner, and I don't mind if these guys come, because he's going to feel a lot more secure with these other horses. Drive him around, come in here and see if I can draw him in. There he is. What a good boy. What a good boy. Now again, if I can play with these other guys, yeah, there he is. No, yeah, you're a good boy. You're all right. Yeah. And I'll go ahead and have my rope all ready to go here, just to kind of toss it over his neck, because I would like to let him just carry it around. Missed an opportunity there, but I didn't want to be too fast. So I'm just going to come in here and see if I can get him to just carry the twine around. That's what I'm after right now. I want to do it in a manner that's not confrontational. He's not going to flip out. I know these guys can handle it, but it's a bit more challenging for my buddy here. I know, yeah, you're a good boy. Yes, you are. I know. It's playing a lot of games, and you know, if you get upset, and if you get after the horse and chase him and get into a fight, it's not going to get any better. So it takes somebody that has the patience to be able to deal with it. Sometimes horses get attitudes about men or women, and we know that the confrontation happened with a man, so I've asked CJ to come in and work with him a little bit. She's been able to get up to him and do things that I have not been able to do. So you have to get creative. You have to kind of pull out all the stops and do whatever it takes to bond with that horse and get the trust level working for you. And she is lowering her stature, trying not to be threatening to the animal. And so much of the lesson here is to try to get all this done well before they're a year old, because now they're big horses and it's a lot harder. You can't manhandle them. If you can have horses leading and working reasonably well on a lead rope and understanding pressure and release and not afraid of the human, by the time they're 6 months old, then generally you don't have as much work to do later on. There, she's got him hooked on, starting to understand that he won't have to work when he faces her. He's a man. He's a man. But he is the kind of horse that would run right over you if he feels pressured, so you got to be real sensitive about that. It's so important that you have patience. You cannot force the horse to accept you, and you kind of have to look at it as a game, and that's the way I look at it. I enjoy challenges. The only reason I'm ever going to get any better is if I take on horses that are difficult. I look at every challenging horse as an opportunity for me to get better at what I do. The other important thing to realize in this situation, or any situation like this, is if you say, well, I've got 15 minutes, you're going to be in trouble. You better have a few hours and be real patient. Have all the time you need, and always try to leave it in a good place. I doubt we're going to get this horse haltered today, but if she can get this horse to hook on pretty well, and then maybe come out this afternoon or this evening and do it again, it should take about half the time. There, see how she backs off. As soon as the horse faces her, she gives him relief and kind of draws him in. And the better he understands this, the quicker she's going to get through to him. There he is. Look at those ears. And when he needs to leave, she'll drive him off. Make him work. He's going to work when he's not with her. When he's facing her, there won't be any work. And keeping the horse away from the other horses is his uncomfortable zone. So she's got him isolated out there. When he's good and he can come in, then he can be with the other horses. And driving a horse into a corner isn't a bad idea because you've got a lot more control as well, especially in a place where he feels kind of safe. Lots of times there'll be a place where they feel secure, and you want to use that to your advantage. Nice, nice, nice. There he is working his mouth. Hooked up real nice there, CJ. That was beautiful. Taking a step toward you. Beautiful, beautiful. Very good. You see, you don't need a round pen to get a horse to hook on. Definitely not. This is just absolutely perfect area to do it. And getting a horse to hang up in the corners isn't such a bad idea. This is actually a situation where a bamboo pole wouldn't be a bad idea. Just be able to sort of start making contact with the pole. There he is taking some steps toward her. Yeah. Life's beautiful when he decides to stop and be with you. And there she is making some progress. He's sniffing her. And she's just slowly inching in a little bit closer. As he sniffs her, she'll breathe a little bit in his nose. Just kind of try to make friends. Try to build that trust. It's a good boy. It's a good boy. Yeah, I'm getting a lot of help here. A lot of helpers. And while she's working with him, there's no reason I can't be getting this horse all suppled up, yielding to pressure, guiding that head around, using the nose handle. I don't need to have a halter and a lead rope on a horse to get work done. See if I get underneath that tail. There we go. What a good boy. What a good boy. Bring it around the other way. Yeah, what a good horse. Now bump the hindquarters over. There it is. Release the second I get it. One of my favorite games to play with all horses is just be able to walk out, guide the head around to the side, stroke the flank area, and do a one-range stop with the horse. Easy, bud. You have to walk around a while, that's all right. Won't be the first time. Get that head around to the side, get underneath the tail, and bump the hindquarters over. What a good boy. Now I'll ask the front to come across as he moves away from me. There it is. Now I can kind of help her by just sending him right back into this area he feels kind of safe. He's a big guy. He's a big guy. You're all right. Yeah, you're all right. No sudden movements. Life's beautiful. He's a big fella. Lower my stature. Yeah, it's not so bad, is it? I know you're something else. I know you're a good boy, breathing his nose a little bit. Yeah, it's all right. It's all right. He's a big guy. Easy. Yeah, it's a big fella. Yeah, what a good boy. Kind of send him into CJ. Now she can work on him. And kind of double teaming can help a whole lot to speed the process up. That's great. She's stroking his head. He feels comfortable. And I don't want to put too much heat on him. If I have to back off a little bit, that's all right. He knows I'm here. I can kind of help her out. This is real good. Yeah, what a good boy. Right now, all she's doing is just giving to the horse. I call it bonding. Trying to find out what the horse likes. Stroking that neck, scratching, stroking, just looking around. I call it search touching. Now she's underneath his chin, he's starting to melt. Breathing in his nose, whispering sweet nothings to him. Beautiful. And then she'd slowly just start to introduce a little pressure and release if she can get a hand on his nose and just guide his head toward her. Now he's starting to lean into her and thinking it's pretty neat. Now she's got two hands on him. Beautiful. Beautiful. And she'll always quit while it's working before it falls apart. Yeah, you're all right, big guy. Hey, you're doing fine. Yeah, what a good boy. What a good boy. It helps to have a real calm day also. Horses are a lot calmer when there's no wind and you're all right. You're all right. Easy, man. Easy, man. You're all right. No wind. It's nice and warm. Horses are happy. People are happy in weather like this. Don't try to do it on a windy day. There, she's getting him to hook on. Don't try to do it on a windy day when everybody's challenged and not enjoying the weather. Okay, why don't you go ahead and kind of ease in and see if you can contain him on that side. Stay down low. Yeah, a good boy. What a good horse. And we could quit anywhere in here, it wouldn't matter. The point is to make progress and to build that trust up a little bit. And for the horse to just begin to understand a little bit about pressure and release. If you can just, at any time, lean on his neck a little bit, get him to kind of move toward you or underneath his jaw, it wouldn't really matter. That's it, exactly, exactly. See, she got her hand underneath his jaw and just kind of tipped his head toward her. Pressure and release is what we're trying to teach. As soon as the horse understands that, half the battle, at least, probably 85% of it's over. There, yeah, there it is, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And I'll start to back off a little bit. Give her just a little more room because I want the horse to be real comfortable. Beautiful. You see, here's a perfect example of two people working together, being patient, taking our watches off, having all the time in the world to give to this little animal. There's that head coming around. I love it. Beautiful, CJ. And away. Now see if you can kind of get your hand on that nose handle over the top gently. Yeah, and just kind of inch back slowly and see if that head can come right around. Okay, that's all right. Stay with it. Stay with it. Don't ask for too much. Just try to get a little understanding and quit while it's working. There it is. That's it. Beautiful. Beautiful. You see the releases? Real good releases. If we ask for too much and the horse rips it away, then the horse is rewarded for ripping its head away. So you want to kind of try to quit while it's working before it falls apart. And we could, we can quit anywhere in here. If the horse starts feeling like he needs to leave, that would be all right. Yeah, that's great. That's great. This is a great example of teamwork. Horse didn't trust men quite as much, so she got out there and got the horse to hook on, found out that was the safe place for the horse. She got him over there, and I kind of helped contain the horse as she made big headway, being able to stroke him and introduce a little pressure and release, and we left it in a beautiful place. Good job, CJ.
Thank you.
That was fun.
It was.
Remember, you always start out by being friends with the horse first, so you don't need to threaten the animal. Try to set it up so that your stature's low and you kind of invite the horse in, just as I have with this horse. Love on him. Once I've developed a little bit of a friendship, then I want to get in here and I want to be able to start introducing pressure and release. Pressure, release, pressure, release. Anywhere on the horse's body, you see, it wouldn't matter. If I'm leaning into the horse, it means you move away from the pressure. And the second I get it, I'd quit asking. Okay? With very young horses, you want to start at the rear. If you can start scratching them in here, they love that. I've never seen a horse that didn't like it. Watch those back feet so you don't get planted. But more often than not, if you can start kind of working this pretty vigorously, look at that tail come up. Get right into the tail area. He just thinks that's the best thing that's ever happened. Yeah. If I have to reprimand the horse at all, I'm ready to do that as well. I use a shh noise and follow it up with something physical. I don't want horses biting me. I want them respecting my space, and I want them walking in on top of me. So I start with that shh noise, and then I follow it up with something like this, where the horse is starting to respect my space, starting to respect the fact that he will get it if I have to do that. I don't want to, but there are going to be times with all young horses when you're going to have to reprimand. Once I've got the horse understanding how to yield to pressure a little bit, then I'll go to the twine, the rope, and move the horse into a confined area. This wouldn't be bad because these horses don't have a problem, but if you have a horse like the bay horse that we were working with earlier, then you're going to have to get into an area that's a little more confined and start teaching depression release using the rope. Around the neck, off to the side at about a 45-degree angle, okay? Get the horse to lead, be sure to release. The release is everything. Take the rope and run it around the horse's legs, all right? Up and down the legs, around the horse's belly, around behind, around the back legs. Get them used to all that. With weanlings, it's not a bad idea to put a little hay on the outside of the fence, outside the contained area, so mom is just on the other side so the horse doesn't get panicked. They'll feel a lot more secure with that. Pretty early on, though, I want to start playing with the horse's feet, have them get used to me running my hands down here. Not a big deal. Okay, I'd be watching that back leg if I was at all nervous and ready to get out of the horse's way. You see, but I would have already started with the rope, and then I followed up with a hand, start at the shoulder, work my way down. Now I'll just apply a little bit of pressure, going against the hair here, lean into the horse gives it to me. Very good. I'd want to be able to pick it up, tap it a little bit, might even find a rock or use my Leatherman. Do a little bit of that, quit while it's working. That when it falls apart. A relaxed horse will allow me, once they really get it, they're just going to let down. I'm going to be able to do circles here, you see? Nice big circles, just as if you had let down. I'm going to put it down exactly where I want to put it down, not where he wants to. Only release when he's soft. Remember when you're picking up the horse's feet that the horse needs to be squared up and the horse needs to learn to get off that foot. They can't have their weight on that foot, okay? Very important. This one, I just go ahead and back him up, and I'd come in here and I'd lean on him a little bit, pick it up, and I'd put it back down. But he had to shift his weight off the foot. The next thing you can start introducing is things like plastic bags and clippers and blankets and even a saddle maybe. You know, if a horse is doing really well, there's no reason at this age why they can't pack a saddle around, a light one, kid saddle or an English saddle, you know, but you'd start out with a blanket first and let them carry that around and get used to it. And then you might even put a surcingle on so they get used to the girth. Of course, we talked about running the lead rope around here and getting them where they're not going to be cinchy, where that's not going to be an issue, kind of saw on a little bit and put a little pressure. But I don't have any problem with introducing a saddle to a horse this age. I think it's a real good idea. And introducing them to just about anything you can. Take them on discovery walks and open and close gates and shake things and look at things. Go out and find some ranch equipment and see if you can introduce the horse to those kinds of things. Before too long, the horse is able to handle just about anything. Look at you. Now look who's here. This is fabulous. Look where this horse is. Came right into me, able to touch the ears, the forehead. Unbelievable. Did she do a good job or what? And the last thing you'd want to do is you'd want to start introducing a little independence. Once you can lead the horse, take them away from their buddies a little ways. Take them away from mom. Teach them that there's going to be a time in their life when they're going to be riding up into those hills out there and they might be alone. Who knows? We're going to be talking today about working with horses that are a little bit spoiled, and specifically a 2-year-old stallion. CJ raised the horse, so she knows all about him. Why don't you tell us a little bit about his history?
Well, Braveheart turned 2 this last month in August, and he had an injury at 1.5 years and had to be confined for a good 2 months.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't get to socialize during that period of time, and he also discovered his hormones. And so he's become aggressive and nippy and just not real pleasant to be around, and he was always just a wonderful horse, so I'd like to get it fixed.
So the confinement kind of changed everything, didn't it?
Sure
I mean,
did.
he just became a different horse. And
Yep.
okay. Well, it's so important that especially with stallions, that they get things going on the right track and they don't become and exhibit bad stallion behavior. It's just so important. So we're going to try to get a few of these things straightened out. And a lot of these things will carry over for spoiled horses as well. Horses that walk over you and are pushy and nippy and all those kinds of things. So we're kind of getting two birds taken care of with one stone here today. Well, I'll go ahead and get started with this guy, and we'll see what I can get done. I'll start out as I do with all horses by giving him a good deal. I'd like him to know that there's a real soft side, that life can be really nice. But I'm ready the second he tries to take a nip to reprimand him. Okay? Shh. I use that noise. I don't need you doing that. Come in here and kind of make friends. Let him know there's a white zone. Life can be beautiful. Yeah, what a good boy. What a good boy. And I won't spend a lot of time in his mouth as I do with a lot of horses because he is so nippy. I don't want to encourage that. Yeah, you're all right. You're all right. Kind of make friends. First step is always bonding. Make friends with the animal. Let him know there's a wonderful zone. I call it the white zone. Okay, now I'll go ahead and offer the halter here. Shh. Shh. He's going to find out real quick that this nipping is just not going to work. And I would go up the V, remember my V thinking, as far as I need to get him to understand that. If I have to go out and get a squirt gun and squirt him when he tries to bite, I'll do it. I might even put a little vinegar in it. I wouldn't fill it up with vinegar, but you know, I'm going to go as far as I need to get him to understand. Now I'm going to offer, kind of get my hand out here and let him know, shh. Shh. Before too long, he's not even going to try. Starting to get through a little bit. That's a good boy, see? Whole lot nicer to do it that way, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah. Good. Good. So we've done a little bonding, getting his nose. Ask him to drop that head. I'm going to go ahead and work my system, but I'm ready at any moment. The second he acts up, he's going to hit the brick wall. So I'm asking him to do a little give and take, a little pressure and release. Ask that head to drop. Constant downward pressure. Release for the smallest try, the slightest change. Pressure, release, pressure, release. Remember, stallions can get very aggressive, so when they begin to exhibit any stallion behavior, they need to hit the brick wall, like that flipping of the head. Shh. I'm not asking a lot here. I'm just saying, come on, let's work together. Release. Shh. Pressure. And note that I'm standing away from his head. He's liable to throw his head and crack me one, and I don't need that. But I want to get some communication going here. Shh. Release. You see, he's there. That was a good one. Pretty braced up. Pretty braced up. Pressure. Shh. Constant pressure. The seed needs to get planted. That was good. I'd like to see him work his mouth now. Pressure. And this should get to be less and less all the time. Release, release, release. There. Very good. Okay, so I've kind of planted the seed for pressure and release. Now I'm going to ask him to back up a little bit. Release. You see, I'm in here. Shh. I'm in here, and I'm just kind of agitating back and forth, making it a little uncomfortable, and saying, come on, let's go backward. Now, I'd reward because he did get soft. You see, his head came in. And that's what I need for a horse to back properly. There it is, release. He needs to get in the frame. There it is, what a good boy. That's what I needed, thank you. You see, it's black and it's white. There's a wonderful zone, and he's doing just fine. Coming right along. I haven't seen a lot of bad behavior, but then I'm ready for it, and I don't put up with it. Same thing with mares that get out of control, that have their time of the month, and they're going to be kind of snippy. Need to talk to you right in here, big guy. I don't want him eating my lead rope here. Constant pressure. Shh. Constant pressure. Like that head to come around. Pressure, release. What a good boy. Come around the other side. Okay? Using the nose handle. Need to talk to you right in here. Breathe in his nose a little bit. Come into the flanks. Get underneath the tail. Tail's nice and soft. So I've just worked the first 3 steps of my program. Bonding, take and give, and intimacy. He was able to get his head in here with me, and I'm able to get my fingers underneath that tail, and it's coming up. It's nice and soft. If he has to walk around a little bit, that's just fine. There we go. There we go. Easy, man. Shh. Easy, big guy. There. Good. Good boy. So now the dance is going to begin here. Now I'm going to start asking him to work a little bit. Okay? Come in here behind. Drive him off. Now, chances are this is going to be a little difficult for him. There it is. Good boy. Because I don't think he understands just what it is I want. There's a boy. Good horse. Good horse. You see, so often horses just need some direction, some focus, just like kids in school that are acting up. If we put them to work, if we put them to work and give them a job, then they can feel good about what they're doing. Good boy. That's what I need. Just a nice round circle. And I'll finish it up with a wind down. Now I'm quite certain he's going to think about taking a nip, so I'm ready. I'm totally prepared for that head to come around and for him to, and I'll try to set it up so he can't do it. That was a good boy. That was a good boy. He gave me a nice big give. This is a nice horse. I really like this horse, actually. Okay, set it up. Note where the rope is. There's a V right in here, so it makes perfect sense. It's easy for the human. And when he comes out the other side, I'm in perfect position to go ahead and drive him. But it's a different side. First we did the right, now we're doing the left, so this is all new to him. And that's a boy. And I'm kind of ready for him to think about planting me with those back legs. So the second I sense anything, I'd be pulling his head toward me, driving those hindquarters away from me. Good boy. Doing real well. With the stallion, I'm just a little bit more cautious. I'm kind of looking, watching their back legs and watching them to take a nip. And I'm ready to correct it instantaneously. I'll get as tough as I need to. It's a little bit like tough love with kids. It's better now than later. The sooner you kind of nip it in the bud, the better off it is. But we've just gotten the first 4 steps going really well. Bonding, take and give, intimacy, and the dance begins. He's done a beautiful wind down. He drove out nicely, which is going to help me put him in a trailer, send him into a stall. Shh. Yeah. I'll just offer and see if he wants to take a little nip. Not too interested. So I'll let him know. This is where we want to be. We're right in that white zone. Okay, now it's time for a little desensitizing. I'll go ahead and take the end of the lead rope here and see if he can handle this kind of thing. I have a feeling as mellow as he is, it's not going to be a real big deal. If he had trouble with that, I'd start here. You see, I'll get in and I'll kind of get a hand on his head and just stroke a little bit. Well, what a good boy. What a good boy. And let him know that the rope isn't going to hurt him. Yeah, you're all right. And then I can go back to playing jump rope with him and flick the rope up over his head, and this time it won't be anything. See if I can catch an ear. There, I got one. Up. But I'm looking for things that are going to bother the horse. Now, lots of stallions don't have much of an issue with much. But he's got a little something going here, and that's fine. I just soon find it now. You know, if this is going to be a big deal, and riding would be a real big deal. And he could be ridden about any time, couldn't he? I mean, he's big enough and stout enough. And probably the sooner the better. I want to be able to toss the rope up over his back, not have it be a big deal. I want to be able to take the rope and go around his legs. Okay? All legs. While he's moving. You get to move. I won't beg a horse to do things. I'll ask him, and then I'll ask him a little more aggressively. I'll just get more and more serious until I get it. That's a good boy. That's a good boy. Toss the rope up over his back. Yeah. Up over his head. Yeah, that good boy. Run the lead rope around the offside here, getting that V behind here, and I'll ask him to come forward. This is something you should do with all your horses. because you're desensitizing those back legs. Release, 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 and then let him wind out of it. That is fabulous for getting those back legs desensitized and getting the take and give really well understood. Well, he couldn't be a whole lot better, to be honest with you. He's doing a great job. Now I'm allowing him to sniff and check it out. I'm saying that you better be a gentleman because I will instantaneously, shh. I don't mind if he sniffs a little bit. Now, you know, early on he had to find out that that wasn't even acceptable. Yeah. I don't want him to be head shy. You notice when I did reprimand him, it came from underneath. I would never hit a horse here. You know, if I have to reprimand for biting, it's going to come under here or it's going to come somewhere on their body. I like to flank with the flat of my hand. If a horse bites or wants to kick, if I can give him one of these real solid, right in this area right here, that's pretty sensitive and they're going to know it. But you don't want to hit a horse in the head. Very important. Yeah. But he's found out there's a black zone and there's a white zone, and he's right in the white zone. This is beautiful. Both having a good time. Maybe I'll just ask for a foot. I'll go ahead and lead him up here. Square him up a little bit. See how he is about his feet. Create just a little discomfort. That's a good boy. That's a good boy. Shh, easy. Easy. Shh. Shh. I'll put it down before it falls apart. That was a good horse. That was a good boy. Pretty good about those back legs. Obviously, he's been getting trimmed and been dealing with that a little bit, so that's not a big deal. But you can't do too much of this with horses, I don't think. I still do it with my own horse from time to time. You know, and it's just kind of all part of reassuring the horse that everything is just fine and they can handle about anything. Okay, just to continue the desensitizing process, I've got a flag here on the end of a whip. I'll let him sniff it a little bit. I don't think it's going to be a big deal by the looks of it. Then I'll start in on his body, kind of let him carry it. What a good boy. And this does bother him. So good, we finally found something that's going to stir him up a little bit. We might get a little, easy man, easy man. You see, I'll keep the circle small. That encourages him to go slow. I've got two things going at the same time here. My left hand is keeping him in relatively close, and I'm letting him carry the bag. I'm not aggressive with it at all. He's just carrying it. Got a chance to sniff it a little bit, and I don't want to be in too close. He could strike out at it. What a good boy, and I'll let him know. I'll let him know he's doing a good job vocally. Come in here and stroke his neck a little bit. Glad to see that head drop. Yeah, a good boy. What a good boy. What a good boy. Let him carry it in the back leg, front leg, up in the shoulder area. Now the shoulder area is generally the most difficult area for a horse. So that's really good. Yeah. That's a good boy. Now I'll ask him to change directions. Do a little ballet there. Again, I need to get that right side. That's it. And the right side is usually going to be a little more challenging for the horse than the left, generally, just because we do so much more on the left than the right. Good boy. I'm careful to watch his attitude, watch his tail set, watching everything. I'm not out to torment the horse, I'm out to help him. Plastic bag is just one thing that he's going to need to tolerate in life because there's a lot of it in our lives. Needs to get used to it. What a good boy. Now, I want him to be able to come back down to a walk I'm looking for rational movement here, not irrational movement. There it is, there's a walk. Feels like he has to go out that way. Won't be any relief until he moves away from that pressure. There's a good boy, good horse. Try it again. It just won't work. There it is. There it is. It's all right. Yeah. And now he's handling it at a walk, so that's good. Now I'll work the front a little bit. It's all right, big guy. Yeah. Maybe let him sniff it a little bit. Kind of be his idea. I wouldn't just put it in his face, I'd offer. Then I'd start to work it, play with it, get in closer and closer. And in no time at all, as well as this horse is doing, it won't be anything. This has got him a little stirred up, that's good. I'm delighted to find something. Yeah, you're doing fine. You're doing fine. And again, if I come in here and kind of stroke, there he is working that mouth, let him know. Maybe see if that head will drop. Release. Huh, big drop. In conclusion, to wrap it up, it's important that with a horse that has gotten away with some things, it's a little bit spoiled, it's exhibiting some stallion behavior, any kind of nasty behavior, that you work with them consistently. Try to get out there at least every day, maybe even a few times a day, and be an enforcer. You know, let the horse know that there's a real nice zone again where we can be. I call it the white zone, but there's also a black zone and they're going to get in trouble. If the horse tries to bite or tries to kick or tries to exhibit any bad behavior, tries to lead the dance, if I'm walking along and the horse is trying to get out in front of me, you know, I'm going to make real sure that the horse understands where my space is and respects it. Horse gets out front, I'm going to come in here, I'm going to agitate a little bit, say, you know, you need to get out of my space. I'll stay with it until the horse takes a step back. Thank you. That was pretty good. We'll go for another little walk here. And when I stop, I'll stop abruptly. I mean stop. I want the horse to stop and respect my space. I'm serious about it. And ideally, I'd like the horse to take a step or two back. 1, 2, every single time I stop. Then they get in the habit when they see you stopping of really respecting your space and actually backing off. But it's about consistency. It's about doing it every day. And then once you've done it every day for a while, then you can back off because then their manners are right in place where you need them to be. The amount of time that you're going to work with each horse is going to vary dramatically. If the horse is in a good mood and everything's working, stay with it. But when it starts to fall apart, it's a good time to quit, but always leave it on a good note. If you have weather conditions that are changing, if the horse is away from their mother, all kinds of things like that, you just have to gauge it because each horse is a little bit different. We offer 1- and 3-day clinics throughout the country. In these clinics, you'll learn my 7-step safety system, as well as a wealth of knowledge on all aspects of working and riding horses. You'll return home with the skills that you'll need with every horse you encounter in the future, I promise. We also offer 7-day intensives at selected facilities throughout the country. These are designed for the serious-minded who desire to take a huge step forward in their knowledge of horses. These are usually conducted at dude ranches, therefore we have adequate time to thoroughly dissect the many in-depth issues involved in understanding these wonderful creatures. I strongly encourage anyone genuinely interested in pursuing my certification program or career with horses to attend one of our intensives. This is a week you'll never forget, not only from a learning experience, but from a life experience. Lifetime friendships are often created in this week, and you'll return home having experienced one of the greatest weeks of your life. In order to perform the exercises in my 7-step system successfully, it helps to have the right tools. I prefer a rope halter with a 12-foot lead, and we carry these in a variety of colors and in 2 styles. These custom nylon halter lead combos come in many colors and are the most popular choice of my students. This is the 2nd style. It has the yacht rope lead on it and a little bit softer halter. This is preferred model for most of my certified trainers. Now, both styles will aid you dramatically in the exercises and can easily be used for riding by simply tying the end of the lead under the horse's chin, thereby creating reins. This is our custom expandable wand. It's ideal because it's got a loop on the end here that you can clip onto your belt. It's expandable, so you can get anywhere on the horse with it and be safe. And it's got a loop on the end to attach a piece of cloth, plastic bag, anything you want to. And we have our Dances with Horses Spirit t-shirt in black and white, available in all sizes. Our video library is constantly expanding. We offer our foundation video, Discover the Horse You Never Knew, which is absolutely the place to start. Without this understanding of the basics and my philosophies, you'll be jumping into the middle. From there, the rest of the works will make perfect sense. These additional videos include communication in the saddle, spooking and shying, starting the young horse, retraining the racehorse, solving 7 common horse problems, crossing water and bridges, trailer loading, mounting the difficult horse combined with problem foot handling, and working with young horses, which includes weanlings, yearlings, and a 2-year-old spoiled stallion. And finally, our promotional and highly entertaining work, A Day in the Life of a Horse Whisperer, a 3-segment series including 24-minute documentary filmed at a great fundraising event in Michigan, and high-quality ABC and CBS news footage filmed when the movie The Horse Whisperer was playing. This video is great for helping get support for your own clinic or fundraising event. These instructional videos will help you dramatically in your quest to more fully understand and ultimately succeed with all horses.